Carol Burnett is often remembered as television's brightest, warmest light, an iconic comedian whose laughter seemed to flow effortlessly from a place of genuine joy. Yet behind the sparkle of her gowns and the roar of studio audiences, there was a woman shaped by hardship, determination, and a complicated emotional life. Born Carol Creighton Burnett on April 26, 1933, in San Antonio, Texas, she was raised amid poverty and the chaos of her parents' alcoholism. Yet even in those early years, Burnett discovered the power of humor as survival, using mimicry and performance to escape a difficult reality. She would later become the first woman to host a long-running variety show in prime time, changing television forever. But in the shadows of that success was a relationship that left her deeply wounded. In private, Burnett admitted she truly hated Harvey Korman more than anyone, a truth that reveals the human cost of greatness. From hardship to Hollywood, Burnett's early years. Burnett's childhood was shaped by instability. Raised primarily by her grandmother in a modest Los Angeles apartment, she experienced poverty and emotional turbulence early on, yet those hardships taught her resilience and created a deep well of empathy. She attended UCLA with dreams of journalism, but the theater called to her instead. A pivotal moment came when an anonymous benefactor gave her money to move to New York City to pursue her dreams, asking only that she pay it forward someday. That act of kindness became central to Burnett's life philosophy, an enduring belief in gratitude and generosity. In New York, she honed her craft in theater and began making television appearances in the 1950s. Her performances on variety shows displayed her unique ability to blend physical comedy with emotional truth, a combination that would define her career. The breakthrough, a woman in a man's world. Burnett's talent became impossible to ignore. She appeared on talk shows and variety programs, becoming known for her expressive face, her fearless humor, and her ability to make audiences laugh without losing her humanity. Her breakthrough came with The Carol Burnett Show in 1967, a groundbreaking primetime variety series that defied the male-dominated television landscape. The show ran for 11 seasons, blending sketches, music, satire, and character work with unmatched creativity. Burnett's partnership with Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, Vicki Lawrence, and Lyle Waggoner created some of television's most enduring comedic moments. Her audience Q&A sessions became a beloved signature, where she answered questions with honesty, warmth, and humor, forging a deep connection with viewers. Burnett had become not just a performer, but a national institution. The truth behind the glamour, the cost of control. While The Carol Burnett Show looked effortless on screen, Burnett later revealed the show's production environment was often tense. Television in that era demanded perfection, and Burnett was determined to deliver it. The pressure to produce weekly comedy sketches and musical numbers was immense. Burnett was the driving force behind the show's creative vision, and she bore the weight of maintaining its quality. She often felt responsible for everyone's success, and, at times, resentful of the toll it took on her emotionally. The stress of the production was intense, and Burnett's own vulnerability, stemming from childhood trauma and personal loss, made it difficult to remain unshaken. The show's success, while joyous, came with a hidden price: the emotional exhaustion of constant performance and the strain of managing a cast of strong personalities. The love story. Marriages that shaped her. Burnett's personal life was a complex mixture of love, loss, and resilience. Her first marriage to Don Saroyan in 1955 ended in divorce in 1962, a period during which her career was rising and her life was shifting dramatically. Soon after, she met television producer Joe Hamilton, whom she married in 1963. Their partnership became a creative force behind her show, with Hamilton producing many of Burnett's projects and helping her rise to unprecedented heights. Together, they raised 3 daughters, and while their marriage appeared strong, it was strained by the pressures of fame and the heartbreak of their daughter, Carrie's struggles with addiction. Burnett and Hamilton ultimately divorced in 1984, but their relationship continued to shape her life. In 2001, Burnett married drummer Brian Miller, who was 23 years her junior, showing her willingness to embrace love and renewal even later in life. The grief that transformed her. One of the most painful chapters of Burnett's life was the loss of her daughter, Carrie Hamilton, in 2002 to cancer. Carrie's death devastated Burnett and her family, but it also became a turning point. Burnett openly spoke about grief and the ways humor can be both a shield and a healing tool. She used her platform to support addiction recovery and to speak honestly about the struggle of losing a child. She and Hamilton had become advocates for parents dealing with addiction, and Burnett continued that mission long after their divorce. Her memoirs, One More Time and This Time Together, reveal the emotional truth behind her public persona, an honest portrait of a woman who used comedy not to hide pain, but to transform it. The Carol Burnett Show, a revolution in comedy. The show that made Burnett a household name was also a revolution in television. It broke barriers not only because a woman led it, but because of the creative freedom it allowed. Burnett's sketches parodied classic films, explored social satire, and celebrated character comedy in ways that hadn't been seen on television. The Went with the Wind sketch remains one of the most famous comedic moments in history, showcasing Burnett's talent for physical comedy and timing. She was not merely a host, she was a storyteller, a performer, and a fearless creative force. The show's impact is still visible today, influencing generations of comedians from Tina Fey to Kristen Wiig. Burnett's legacy is not only laughter, but empowerment. The hidden truth why she hated Harvey Korman. Despite their legendary on-screen chemistry, Burnett's relationship with Harvey Korman was deeply complicated. Behind the laughter, she admitted that she truly hated him more than anyone. Her resentment wasn't born of petty jealousy, it grew from years of conflict, emotional strain, and professional tension. Korman's temper and unpredictability created a toxic atmosphere for Burnett, who worked tirelessly to keep the show running smoothly. She felt he sometimes displayed arrogance and entitlement, taking credit and showing little gratitude for her sacrifices. Burnett also struggled with his emotional distance. His lack of warmth in private made her feel isolated. Their partnership demanded intimacy, yet it never blossomed into friendship. The longer they worked together, the more her resentment grew, and the harder it became to reconcile the man on screen with the man behind it. The collision of two strong personalities. The emotional conflict between Burnett and Korman intensified because they were forced to work closely for years. In the high-pressure environment of a weekly variety show, small irritations became large resentments. Burnett had built her career through resilience and hard work. She expected professionalism and mutual respect. Korman, meanwhile, was a comedic genius whose ego sometimes overshadowed the collaborative nature of the show. Burnett's frustration was compounded by her deep commitment to the show's success. She had invested her heart into it, and she expected others to do the same. When Korman failed to match that level of dedication, Burnett felt betrayed. She had spent her life lifting others up, yet she couldn't lift him into the level of gratitude she believed he owed her. Outro. The human cost of iconic comedy. Carol Burnett's legacy is one of laughter, courage, and creative brilliance, but her story also reminds us that behind every icon is a human being with hidden struggles. Her admission that she hated Harvey Korman reveals the emotional complexity of working relationships under intense pressure. It shows how even the brightest partnerships can be shadowed by conflict, resentment, and disappointment. Yet Burnett continued to create, perform, and inspire, transforming pain into humor and tragedy into resilience. She became a trailblazer for women in comedy, an advocate for those in need, and a beloved figure who never stopped paying forward the kindness that once changed her life. In the end, her greatest triumph was not only her talent, but her ability to keep laughing even when the world was not always kind.